Welcome to What I Wish I Knew at 30. Today, I'm joined by a dear friend of mine, Samantha Tait, who sometimes shows that life's biggest breakthroughs start with a break, literally. Today, on What I Wish I Knew at 30, I'm going to be talking to Sam, the powerhouse behind the BRND Group, a creative juggernaut redefining how brands connect and thrive in the digital age. Samantha didn't just stumble into entrepreneurship, she limped into it. After breaking her leg playing rugby for England, she turned that forced downtime into the birth of a vision. From the sidelines, maybe a hospital bed, she built what would become one of Australia's most dynamic social and brand strategy agencies, proving that when the body stops, the mind can sprint. Now, as a leader, speaker, and digital disruptor, she's helping businesses find their voice, own their narrative, and scale with purpose. In this episode, Sam will share the lessons that came from grit, recovery, and risk, and what she wishes she knew at 30 about business, leadership, and backing yourself when everything seems to be breaking apart. Sammy, welcome to What I Wish I Knew at 30. Did I miss anything out in that introduction?
Franny, you nailed it. I was like, I want to speak to this girl. Where is she?
Amazing. So tell us a bit about what you're doing with life now. Obviously, played professional rugby for England, or was it still amateur when you were playing?
It was amateur. It was back in 2000, so it was a very long time ago now. Yes, I did love my sport. PE teacher as well back then. But what am I doing now?
What are you doing now?
Fast forward to 2025, near the end of, I'm running my own consultancy agency. I'm bringing up 2 teenagers, which was really interesting. I've just moved house. Life is exciting. I'm into my health and well-being as I always have been, and continuously learning. And it's great to be on the show. And I've just listened to a few other guests on your podcast. So I'm excited to be here.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me, Sam. I can't wait to get into this. I know there's going to be a lot of pearls of wisdom, and I'm sure we're going to have it's going to be a fun one. So, Sam, imagine we're jumping in a time machine right now, me and you. You're 30 years old again. Where are you? What are you doing? And what's going through your mind at that stage of life?
My gosh, Franny, that is such a good question. And I actually just had to imagine myself going back then. At 30 years old, I just had my first child. He would have been like 3 months old at 30. I was just getting into business. I'd stumbled upon social media. It was, when was it? Gosh, 2009. I don't know. We'll have to work out the exact year. But I was excited. I was incredibly driven. I was juggling, bringing up my young baby. A 2-year marriage just flourished. And life was looking good. Apart from the financial side, I wasn't too worried about. I was just out there going, let me at it. And always finding a way, I think, was the major thing that I found in my 30s that really helped me grow. Was you can be unstoppable. You just need to look outside. I hate to say look outside the box. It's so meh, but find other ways of helping you get what you want. And so, 30 was busy living.
Busy living. Amazing. So did you feel like you had life sorted at 30, or were you winging it?
Gee, good question. In the middle. So when I hit 30, I thought, you know what? I'm now more confident and certain of who I am as a person. I'm 90% there in terms of being a proper adult. The 10% is a bit of a top up, just some skills here and there and being green and growing. But when it came to the business side, I was winging it to some degree. But then I looked at other people that are opening up their businesses and going, well, they're winging it too, but they know more than their customer does. So I just kept learning and I was in the trenches around how do I network on Twitter? How do I build a network and engage with them? How do I get them to reach out to me? So there was some winging it, but then a bit of purpose and why I was winging it to the point where I didn't wing it anymore.
I love that.
That makes sense.
That totally makes sense, because if you don't take the steps, you're never going to find out what works and what doesn't. So, those days of winging it is taking the steps that, either maybe don't get the results you want, but give you the option to adapt, to pivot, and set off in another direction.
The one thing I just want to add to that just came into my head was when I was 30 and I was doing this, I was fearless. Like I actually liked the risk. And I know this is not going to resonate with everyone, but for me, it was like, if I don't take the risk, then I feel like I haven't moved forward. And there was something that someone said to me, and it was ages ago in my 20s, there's people in hospital beds wanting to do stuff that you can do right now. And that stuck with me. So I've always been like, just do it. Worst thing that's going to happen, you're going to learn from it. I've been better, obviously, taking those chances and failures. As I've got older, I've gone, oh, I'm going to assess that one a bit more. But in my 30s, it was just like, let's go. Let's see what we can
Yeah.
do.
Let's do it. And look, I mean, really sage advice, because without taking risk, you never actually know what's possible. And, that's, we stay within our self-contained box of limitations that we impose on ourselves. But when we actually use those critical words, how can I? The world suddenly takes on a whole different, because you're looking at possibility. And, that's, yeah, then the world's your oyster, isn't it?
Totally. Then you get in your flow. And then, when you graze your knees a bit, it's not so hurtful the next time. So you pick yourself up and go, okay, I'm probably going to graze my knees again, but it's not going to hurt as much. And I probably don't want to graze my knees in that spot every time. But then not to graze my knees exactly there anymore.
Yeah, that's a fair analogy. So at that time, Sammy, what was your biggest dream at that time?
Wow. Such a good question. And it's an answer that probably isn't best practice answer. I didn't really have any goals, big goals or dreams. I was very much in the moment of, oh, I've come from sport and I've come from PE teaching, secondary school. I'm in this new world of digital. I'm connecting with people and I'm engaging, which is lighting me up. I'm helping them, which is lighting me up. And I'm growing a business that I didn't think I'd ever want to be a business owner of. So it was more like, "Ooh, okay, how's this going?" Right now, I'm loving what I'm doing and I want to help as many people as I can because I'm loving it. And then over time, I was like, yeah, you really need to set some kind of dreams and goals and measurable,
Mm, mm,
measurable steps. But back in my early 30s, I was just in the moment,
brilliant.
which in hindsight, you're quite vulnerable and it's quite sweet, but I wouldn't recommend doing that anymore.
It's
Just
not
waste
intentional,
time.
is it? Yeah.
Yeah, you wasted a bit of time. Hey.
Yeah, maybe. Did life take you then where you expected? Did you have any expectations?
What from when I'd started my first agency?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Whatever.
yes,
I mean, in any aspect of life,
well,
you know.
at school, I always wanted to be a secondary school PE teacher. Like it was sport, it was everything to me. And I'd never heard of the word entrepreneur. I'd never known about a BAS statement. It was just PE, sport, and teaching. And so I was a little bit boxed in. But then when I broke my leg playing rugby, and I couldn't do the stuff I used to do, it,
Mm,
I think you said earlier in my intro, you start using your brain a bit more to go, okay, well, I can't run around and do all this stuff. What can I do? And it was the birth of social media in 2008. And I was like, I literally lucked in at the right time. And I went, where there's people, there's opportunity, there's money, and put myself into that. So, um, I was on track with the people connection thing, but I didn't know that I wanted to grow a business until I started growing a business. And I was like, I bloody love this. I want to grow
yeah,
this.
amazing.
Let's go.
Yeah, too. And here you are now, sort of a connector extraordinaire.
I think values, mate. Sorry, interrupting. I think it's your values. You know who you are and what you stand for. And you get out of bed every day and you go, I like connecting with people. That gives me my sunshine. I like helping people. That gives me my sunshine. I like exercise. And so when you do those things, like it's effortless and easy to kind of then take some risks or to take that step forward. Um, just keep the momentum going. But when you do stuff that's for the money or for other things that go against it, bloody hard and it's a waste of time.
Yeah, and you're right. Being in alignment with your values allows you to be in flow, and the possibilities that come from that are just exponential. It's just, yeah, it's completely different, isn't it?
Oh, it's amazing. And it's quite freaky sometimes where things just come to you. They do, effortless and easily. And you're like, oh, I didn't even work for that, but I've been on track and I've been consistent and I've dreamed I want to get that. And then
Yeah,
something happens. And you're like, how did that happen? But it's life, isn't it? It's energy. It's what you're putting out there. And
yeah.
you've got conviction and direction. And you know where you want to head. That stuff just happens. I don't know how. It just does.
But I think it happens because you're taking those steps every day. So although you said you didn't work for it, you actually did because that energy was out in the marketplace. You don't know from your social media, Tide Tuesday, your Tide Tuesday tips, how long has that been going for now? It's
Since
consistent.
2019, hey,
Has
gosh.
it really? 6 years? Oh, wow. Well, I didn't realize that, but I mean, I follow Tide Tuesday and, sort of the just listening to that, I love it. It's wise, but it's out there, it's consistent. And, you don't or we don't know when we do those kind of things, who's going to see it or who's putting it in the memory bank for, coming back to you at some point in the future. So, that consistency, the discipline behind those things, the wisdom in the words that are really short, punchy.
It's the only way I can do it. Get it out in 60 seconds. People are, you got to tune into that or on.
Exactly. It takes you longer to get dressed.
No, I should say, say, girl.
So looking back now, Sam, what's something you were completely wrong at or wrong about at 30?
God, completely wrong about fast is actually bad. When I was 30, I was hungry to get my agency set up, my social media agency set up then, get as much content out as possible, and grow a team, like do everything very quickly. And what I was bad at was because I was moving so quickly, I didn't have enough time to go, let's press the pause button.
Mm,
Where are we at? Are we
mm,
going in the right direction? Do I really want to get an investor to put some money into that? Or maybe I might be okay not needing an investor. Like
mm,
decisions were made with no context, so made quickly. There was no real thought or let's sleep about it. It was very move, go, gotta go, gotta go, gotta be the first, gotta be in front of the rest, quite competitive. And I've learned that that's not good. So in my mind, back then, fast was bad for me.
Well, Sam, they say that life is the best teacher, and sometimes those lessons do come wrapped in disaster. So let's talk about the biggest curveball that life threw at you, whether it was in business, relationships, or personal growth. What's one experience that at the time felt like the worst thing ever, but actually ended up shaping who you are now?
God, there's two. So probably my marriage breakdown, but that's just story stuff. But ultimately, when that broke down, it was like the floor just went, and I
Mm,
kind of lost myself. And I was like, wow, I don't know if I'm staying in this house. All the uncertainty floods through. Where am I going to
mm,
live next? What about my kids? What about me? It's just all unfamiliar. But what it did was it really showed me that if I did back myself and I got a little bit uncomfortable, like being comfortable with uncomfortableness. And as long as I just kept moving, I would be okay. And it
mm.
was scary as hell. It was the biggest amount of uncertainty I've ever had in my entire life. But now it's given me the confidence and certainty to move into phases of life like now. And I suppose over the next 4 years to go, I've got myself. If not anything else, I've got me. And so I don't want to say I'm blessed that it happened because it was awful, but I could
Mm,
definitely look at it and go, there's so many things I can take away from it for the good. And I will not sit in that bad story of a victim or this happened for me. It's more like, all right, well, that happened. That
yeah,
sucked. How can I use that to propel myself forwards and not stay in the past? It's more like for me now, and that's what I've learned. What can I do now? Put my head in, um, as opposed to focusing on the story of that bad thing that happened.
yeah. Not just letting go of that drama hook.
Oh, does not serve you or doesn't serve me.
No, it doesn't serve anyone, I don't think.
I think if you hang on to stories and, "Oh, poor me, and this happened or that happened, and he said that, she did that, I was bullied," whatever it may be, I mean, it's awful, that stuff, right? But if you hold
Yeah,
on to it,
yeah,
you
yeah,
really
yeah.
give yourself the power to then move forward. So that's what I've learned, to be in the now and focus forwards.
So looking back at that time, what was the hardest part about that experience, and how did you push through it?
God, these are great questions. The
Yes, sir.
hardest part was the loneliness in that experience. It was, "Well, hang on a minute, it's just me now. Oh, okay. I don't like being by myself. I'm not comfortable being by myself.
Mm,
I
mm,
like being around people. I like being around my husband. I like having a full house, a full
yeah,
family house." And so it was like, that bubble bath scenario where you choose to have the bubble bath and you think the bubble bath's going to be the thing that helps you, but it's the choice to get and run the bath and get in it that was actually the thing that helps. And that's what helped me to go, you're not by yourself. You've got you for the rest of your life. Pull yourself together kind of thing. Slap, come on, Sammy, wake up. And what can you do right now? And it was little steps, but I kind of got out of that poor me, I'm lonely. Um, I did some stupid things within 3 months and I gave myself permission to, but then it was a case of going, let's grow up now. And so that's what I've learned to go, yes, feel it, feel the emotion, get a bit sad, but then know that you can move through it and
Yeah.
get out of it. And there is always an end point, I've learned. You're never stuck in it forever.
No, it will pass. It will pass. So if you could go back and whisper to to yourself at that time, whisper advice, what would you say?
I would say to myself, God, that is a really good question. I would say, take one step at a time, do one thing better than what you did yesterday. I would probably, the other thing just came to mind is don't absorb it all. Don't take it all personally.
Mm,
Don't carry it all. Feel it for a bit, but then, yeah, I would say then just know that you can't carry it forever and it's not always your fault. You might have contributed to something that happened, but at the end of the day, it's like, don't carry that. Don't
no,
take it personally. That's what I'd say.
brilliant. I love that. How did the whole of that experience, how did the challenges during that time, which were, I know, immense, like, how did that change the way that you approach success today?
The challenge is because there was so much happening in a divorce. If people have gone through it, there's so many moving parts and there's so many dynamics and I was like learning new things and I was like, how can I, not just within myself, but luckily, ChatGPT just got launched at that point too. So, I'm like, okay, let me ask it some questions to really help me understand when I get served this legal letter, what does it mean? And am I reading my within 4 weeks? And so I was just learning different ways to assure myself that it was going to be okay. And speaking to other people, Franny, yourself included, it's that very small support network around you gets you through it and is neutral and doesn't buy into shit that supports you along the way. And so I don't know if I think I'm going off tangent slightly, but I found that, yeah, you know who your mates are in that time and to lean on them. And it's okay to a
Yeah,
point.
yeah. So let's get to the heart of the episode. If you could give your 30-year-old self just three pieces of advice, what would they be?
The first one, and this is a work in progress still, but I don't know who I heard this from, but nothing has meaning, only the meaning you give it. So give it a meaning that's going to help you.
Yeah.
Uh, and that has been a big one for me. If something happens or someone says something, I'm like, what meaning am I adding to it and why? And is that helping me? Do I
Mm,
know I said that? No, I
mm.
don't. So that's the first one. The second one would be to take full accountability for your actions and lack of them. The responsibility is incredible. And I've been doing that for a while now where I've gone, well, how am I accountable for this? So if I hire someone or
Mm,
if my team members hire someone and that doesn't work out, that's down to me because I've hired that team member to hire that team member. So I'll take accountability for that. So that's number two. And number three would be self awareness. Which would, yeah, or how did I say that? How did I come across? Did I mean to say that? How am I being with that person right now? Am I listening to understand or am I being defensive and being ego
mm,
and
mm.
progress? But I think those are the three, especially, that have really helped me, not only in my life, but in business. And when you have accountability, you take control of it, you're more self aware and you don't add shitty meanings to things you don't know have happened. Then you're
Yeah. You don't spend time exactly, and you don't spend time wasting, your energy on things that you don't need to be focusing on.
exactly, yeah, more. I hate to use that word, but yeah. Get shit done quick and it feels good.
Exactly. That's powerful, Sammy. Do you kind of changing the narrative a little bit, but do you think that younger professionals and entrepreneurs struggle today with the same things that we did? Or do you think they're facing a completely different world?
Mate, it is a different world completely, hey, but I always think it's like the core fundamentals of human behaviour. And I say to my 15-year-old and my 13-year-old boys, My 13-year-old got bullied a little bit, and I kind of say to him, hurt people hurt people. Now, that was relevant to us when we were 13, right? So yes, they're in this digital world and AI, and it's ever changing. But if you can drill it right back to the core human fundamentals,
Mm.
uh, there's not that much of a difference, really. And there's obviously a way that you would share it differently to connect with a 13-year-old that I would with a 55-year-old, but it's the same message, and it's been carried through decades. I think it's just be a good person, be self-aware, and know thyself. Know who you are and what you stand for, and whether you're 12 or 90. When you know that, you're good.
I love that. Everyone, no matter in life, those distractions are there. Now, maybe that we didn't have the digital distractions that kids have now, but I think you're right. It's about if people take responsibility, if they have awareness, whether you're a parent actually monitoring the time that kids spend on, it's no different. We were, out and about, it was sort of one of those things that I know as a kid, I didn't wanna come in, that our distraction was being outside with other people and then debating whether dark was actually dark when we got in or not,
You
you
have to
know?
make the street lights come on, and then you'd be like, "Oh, it's time to go home." The
Yeah,
street
yeah,
lights.
we're late, we're late. Yeah, but it's not that dark if you're outside, mum. Yeah, you can get away with that. But, I mean, those digital distractions now are huge
I
from
mean, they are huge. Like, I was looking at, and I speak to my boys quite openly and frankly,
yeah, yeah,
even with Grok, and they've launched some new characters, right? And these AI characters are in pigtails and like little short skirts. They've got names like Annie, and Annie will tell you that you're hot and you're beautiful and you're this and you're that. And they're like, their characters aren't even real people. But I can imagine if you were a 13-year-old going and about to go through puberty, you needed that assurance, you get attached to it on some level.
yeah.
Thinking in life, we've all, through the decades, we've all had stuff come at us, right? That we've had to overcome. And it's just like, once you know about Annie and
Yeah.
what Annie really is, then you can choose to engage with it or not. But yeah, it's a different world. It's scary. And hey, I just, yeah, I mean, I'm involved in it on some level, but I just give the awareness to go, that's not real, mate.
Yeah, yeah. Fair
So,
enough, fair enough. I definitely love AI. It's changed the whole way that I work. It's unbelievable. So, Sammy, just looking at what's one mindset shift and we've spoken about a few, but what's one mindset shift that's completely changed your approach to success?
one, a mindset shift, change, being comfortable with it, knowing it's going to happen throughout life, getting a gut feel of when it's coming and being prepared for it. And if you aren't prepared for it and it comes anyway, then doing something about it. So now I embrace it as opposed
Yeah,
to running away from it. And yeah, it happens to no one can go through life and not have change. So it's how do you get comfortable within that change and to grow from it and to be a better person from it. Yeah.
brilliant. I love that. And Sammy, what's the best advice you've ever received and who gave it to you?
Okay, so it was actually a quote, I think, from Jim Rohn, but it was from Wayne Levy back in 2015. He was my mentor. He was amazing. And it was for things to change, you have to change. And for things to get better, you have to get better. And that is mint. That just covers life for me. Because then it puts the power back in your hands. Yeah, I remember it since 2015 when he shared it with me, and I was like, I'm going to remember that and share it with my kids.
Absolutely, absolutely. Having a growth mindset, being open to adapting, open to pivoting. Geez, like we need that. We needed that 30 years ago, but now more than ever, that ability, if you're really stuck and rigid in your routines and no, not your routines, that's wrong. Your routines you should be stuck and rigid in. But if you're not open to change, no, I would imagine that would be a really difficult place to be. You don't understand that because I'm like you. I move like I'm a visionary. I mean, it's, ADHD and everything else, but gives us a different way of looking at the world. Sammy, we've covered the deep stuff. Now let's have a bit of fun. I'm going to hit you with, yeah, let's have some fun. I'm going to hit you with some really quick fire questions. Don't overthink them. Just first thing that comes to mind. So we've talked about the best advice you ever had. What was the worst advice that you ever had and who gave that to you?
Oh my God, can we skip that one for now? I'll come back
Okay,
to it.
we'll come back to that. We'll phone a friend. If you could have lunch with any historical figure, who would it be?
Frank Sinatra. Because
Me.
Frank Sinatra, because he was bold in what he did. Like, I work in the space of personal branding. His personal branding was exceptional. Like, he just went down his own flow and he did things his own way, and he was charismatic, and, people tried to pull him down, but he was just like, get out of my way, and life and entertainment. And I just loved the way that he did life. So yeah,
Brilliant. I love that. Sammy, if your 30-year-old self had a theme song, what would it be?
God, 30-year-old self-theme song. Pink, raise your glass. If you're wrong, it is the
Of
right
course
way.
it would. Brilliant. I love it. And what's one thing that you absolutely sucked at in your 30s, but you've mastered now?
Okay, I don't think I mastered it, but I sucked at expectations massively. It was terrible. It was like, but I'm doing all this and I'm not getting anything back. But I'm the good friend. But why are you a good friend to me? And so, or I've put together all of this work and you've not even acknowledged it. So now I'm a bit more like, don't. As I obviously do. I'm human, but it's more just a case. Do it because you want to do it without the expectation, and that's very freeing. So that's what
Mm.
I'm learning more and more, and it comes a bit more easy now to go. Oh, they didn't get back. Oh well, at least I did my thing.
Yeah, no, I love that because speaking, high expectations leads to high disappointment.
Exactly. That's why I'm up to mastery.
Absolutely. And that, at the end of the day, that's an emotion and something that you don't want to spend a lot of time in.
It's so overwhelming, and yeah, as you mentioned, it's disappointing because you don't know what you're going to get. So why would you think you're going to get that? And looking through your lens as opposed to somebody else's.
I love that. That's incredible. I know so many listeners are going to resonate with your story, but before we wrap up, let's do a quick recap. What's the single biggest takeaway you want people to remember from our conversation?
You will, if you want it, you will always find a way to get it. Always. So if you want it so much, go get it. And things will happen and you may get let down, but just keep going, keep moving forwards. I think that's what I want. Momentum is key. Never stop learning, keep green and growing. Otherwise you're ripe and rotting. I think I learned that from Wayne as well.
He's the master of sayings, but it's true, isn't it? If you take action every day, if you keep that momentum, if you train, if you look after like the whole of life, not just one part of it, it's a much more wholesome approach to being able to handle success, to keeping your mind in the place where it needs to be, holding that cause and effect, staying away from those disappointments, from those things that I love it.
Nothing's as bad as what it is in the moment either. Hey, like you feel it in the moment. You look back 10 years and you go, the hell was I doing thinking like that? So I think that's, just remember you might feel it now, but that will pass. Keep moving
Yeah,
forward. Yeah.
definitely. And that's the strength, isn't it, of constant learning as well. Is that, even when you think something is really bad, you have the opportunity to stand back, look at it from a different perspective.
Love it. Yep.
When you were playing rugby for England, and I'm just going to go back a little bit because I think, like, sort of when you were playing rugby for England, was that something that you kind of fell into, or was it something that you just loved? And, was that a major curveball when you broke your leg and you were lying in hospital? I mean, I can't imagine you were particularly happy about having to sit still. Talk to us about that time.
Well, I love sport. I loved all sport. I wasn't good at all sport, but I love sport. And I found my dad said, hey, there's a new rugby club down the road and they've opened a women's team. And I was like, oh, I'm pretty tall and big. Let's see how I go at this. And I was good at it, really good at it, because I think I had size and I had a bit of the mental drive and competitiveness. And so when you're good at something, you tend to lean into it more. And so that's where I got to where I did. And thank my mum for just driving around England to all of those training sessions to get me there. But when you get there, it's very interesting, Franny. I was like, okay, I'm meant to be feeling something now. I'm playing for England. Come on. There wasn't anything. It's like the whole build up, the training and trying to get in the teams and England students, that was the good stuff. And when I got into the team, I was a bit like, how to be feeling a bit better than what, I mean, I'm not feeling bad by any means, but I thought
No,
it would
no,
be
no.
fireworks and, yeah, you've done life. Oh, look at you go playing for your country. But it wasn't, interestingly. So then when I broke my leg, it was really good. It slowed me down. And I was like, key then. And picture this, guys. Like, I was in England. It was March. It was dark at 2 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? Right. It was rainy. There was no, there was no light coming in. I was stuck in my mum and dad's bed. They'd come back to Australia to go and see me, and I'd gone to see them, but we missed each other because of the injury with the leg. And I was like, oh my God, I'm in my mum and dad's bed. And I opened my laptop out, and obviously I say obviously, I'd been dabbling in social media for a bit, 2008. And I just thought, oh, why don't I just get businesses to bid for advertising space on this massive cast and have to my toes? Let's see if there's anything in this social media lot. And put it out on Twitter. I did a dodgy video of my mate to say, hi guys, does anyone want to advertise on my broken leg? And you can bid on eBay, and the best four will go on there. Which we decided to do with my dad's house paint, which I got told off later when I took it off to say you shouldn't house paint from the cast. Anyway, digress. I got a massive Twitter following from it. The BBC covered it. Channel 7 News reached out to me and said, social media resident, just because I put myself out there with a stupid idea that actually the community liked it. And my YouTube following went up. That video got like 28,000 followers. It was just like, gee,
Which back then was that with back then.
blessed. And it was very easy to go quite viral back then. So yeah, that really opened my eyes up to, okay, when you slow down, you get other ideas that resonate and keep you going, and it doesn't just have to be activity and sport. There you go.
And who would have known that this is where you would end up,
I
back
know.
in Australia and running BRND Group?
Yep.
Absolutely.
I never would have thought it. Just it shows the transition of skills that you can take from being, a teacher playing sport and moving into business and being quite successful at it. You can just
Yeah.
transition your skills. So, with AI and people are like, your job's going to go, maybe, but then where can you take it next? Because everyone's got those transferable skills. And so from a PE teacher, I never thought I'd be running a company, and one working with government agencies as well. So,
Yeah, well, that's right. Sammy, I absolutely love that. And for everyone listening, here's my challenge to you. Take one thing from today's episode and apply it to your life this week. Maybe it's reaching out to someone who can mentor you. Maybe it's finally taking that leap you've been scared of. Whatever it is, take action. If this episode inspired you, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share with someone who needs to hear it. And if you have a question or a topic you'd like me to cover in a future episode, send me a message. I would love to hear from you. Thank you for tuning in to What I Wish I Knew at 30. Thank you to my incredible guest, Sammy Tait, for her story. You're so welcome. It's been so good. Thank you for tuning in to What I Wish I Knew at 30. And remember, your best chapters are still ahead. See you next time. It's bye from me. Bye from Sammy. Bye.